Okay, let's dive into this. Every single night, millions of us sit down in front of our screens and put our trust in one face, one voice, a voice that brings the biggest, most crucial stories right into our living rooms. But the story we're looking at today, it is definitely not your typical overnight success story. No way. This is the story of David Muir and how an ordinary kid transformed into America's most trusted news anchor. It's an amazing journey that really shows us why dreaming big actually matters.
Did you know America's most trusted voice started with a young boy's dream in a small town? It's crazy to think about, right? This didn't start in some flashy big city studio. It started with a normal kid in a quiet neighborhood. We see these massive figures on TV and kind of forget that, hey, they started out just like us. That huge gap between a simple small-town life and becoming a globally recognized face, that is exactly what makes this whole thing so incredibly inspiring.
Section 1. A Boy with a Dream.
Let's take a trip back to 1973, Syracuse, New York, and this brilliantly illustrates just how different David was right from the get-go. While most kids his age were, glued to cartoons or playing outside, David was absolutely obsessed with the news. Seriously, his room was covered in newspapers and news clippings instead of toys. He just had this deep, undeniable passion for reporting from the very start.
He was hugely inspired by the legendary Peter Jennings. Young David would sit completely mesmerized in front of the TV, soaking in every word, every gesture. But he didn't just watch. He actually used to practice reading the news, pretending to be an anchor right there in his family's living room. Mimicking his idol was literally his very first step into the world of broadcasting.
Section 2. Taking the First Steps.
So looking at this journey, from being born in Syracuse in '73, getting a high school internship, studying journalism in college, all the way to becoming the ABC anchor in 2014, you can see this wasn't some sudden leap. We're talking about a decades-long grind. Every single step he took was deliberately feeding that childhood dream he had back in his living room.
And he didn't even wait for college to get started. Back in high school, he stepped right into the real world with a local TV internship. This is where he got his hands dirty with actual cameras and real reporting. It gave him a raw, unfiltered look at the grueling reality of journalism, way before he ever got formal training.
Section 3. Rising through the ranks.
So what actually set him apart from the crowd? It was the sheer depth and accuracy of his reporting. As he started covering major national events, he presented the facts with such clarity that people couldn't help but pay attention. Viewers really felt like, wow, this guy isn't just reading off a teleprompter, he's showing us the actual truth.
Section 4. Reporting from Dangerous Front Lines.
But to be a truly great journalist, you can't just stay in a cozy studio. You have to get out there. David threw himself into some of the most dangerous places on Earth, war zones, devastating natural disasters, massive international crises. He constantly embedded himself right in the middle of the chaos to make absolutely sure that the real, ground-level story made it back to the viewers, no matter the personal risk.
Section 5. America's trusted news anchor.
All those years of grueling work and putting the truth first finally paid off. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this year, 2014. This was the massive turning point, the year he was named anchor of ABC World News Tonight. The kid who used to watch Peter Jennings was now sitting in his very chair, with the eyes of the whole country on him. And man, did he deliver. Under his watch, it became America's most watched evening news program. He's won some of the most prestigious journalism awards out there. But you know what's really cool? Despite all the trophies and the fame, the thing he values above absolutely everything else is viewer trust. Millions of people trust him implicitly every single night, and to him, that's the real prize.
Final section. The power of big dreams.
So, what does this all mean for us? This isn't just a story about a guy reading the news. It's a testament to the sheer power of big dreams. There's no magic trick here. It's a simple 3-step blueprint. Step 1, hard work. Step 2, total dedication. And Step 3, which is usually the hardest, patience. This formula doesn't just apply to journalism. It's the exact same blueprint for anyone, anywhere, going after a massive goal. Which brings us to our final thought for today. Big dreams are born even in small towns. That kid practicing in his living room is now broadcasting to millions. If David Muir can make his wildly ambitious childhood dream a reality, it really makes you wonder, what dream could you turn into reality with that kind of grit? What's your big dream? And what's the very first step you're going to take today? Think about that for a second. Thanks for joining me.